Where are we, Claire?
Today, Andrew, we're in the van.
Okay, so we're in the van, and the reason why we're in the van is because we've got a bit of a special video, because we were contacted by an active campsite owner, real life campsite owner, and they said that basically we were getting conned. So we were very interested in this, and we actually arranged to meet this person.
Yep.
They are going to stay anonymous just because YouTube is where it is. We don't want any hassle to go to a campsite owner. But these are real questions. Yep. We spoke face to face with this campsite owner, and they took us through actually what it's really like to run a campsite in 2025 and why things cost what they do and why rules are what they are. It was quite an eye-opener.
Yeah, and really why things maybe didn't need to cost what they do.
Yeah, and that's why we get to the con, but we'll get to that a bit later on. But so you sent a load of questions across before we went to see them. Okay,
yeah.
We've got those here, haven't we? Because there's quite a few misconceptions about how they run.
Yep.
Aren't there? So basically, I asked what the biggest cost of running a campsite was.
Yep.
What do you think it was?
I think it was probably wear and tear of the grass and the concrete.
Concrete wear and tear is a huge bill. Well, I
don't know much about wear and tear.
No. Well, can you remember what we were told? The biggest cost is actually electricity, and it's quite an interesting thing. Now, we've been on campsites where there are no electric, where the electric is included in the price. Caravan and Motorhome Club are now giving a 5% discount if you don't use electricity. Yeah. And then we've also been on metered sites as well. Yeah. Now, what the campsite owner told us is that when somebody turns up in a unit, not all units are created equally. So if you've got an older motorhome or caravan, then your use of electric might be pretty low. Whereas if you've got a modern motorhome, then they were saying it's not really like camping anymore. It's a home from home. Yeah. So what happens?
More gadgets, isn't there?
Yeah. So what happens is that the electricity use of that motorhome can be sky high because you've got all sorts of devices running.
Aircon, I guess.
We've got aircon. We do put aircon on sometimes.
Yeah, we have.
And it's something that we didn't think of. But you're paying a flat rate, and it's an all-inclusive rate. So if somebody goes out for the day and leaves their aircon on, then it can whack their bill up. And because it's business electricity, they're not part of this energy price cap. So it could be anything. They've got to negotiate their electric.
Yeah.
Now, the campsite owners told us that they'd renegotiated their price for next year, and they've managed to keep it at the same level, which is quite some achievement, don't you think, with everything going up? I think domestically the price cap's going up again.
It is.
Isn't it? But then there's other things to the electric. There are also electric vehicles now, and sometimes people turn up at campsites and decide to get a free tank of electric.
Yeah. Bit naughty, really. That.
Yeah, I think so. So that's one of the issues that they're having to face. So, but to take that out of it, the biggest expense is the electric, and you can see how it's a variable. So, you know, if we all pay £30 a night, which would be cheap, I guess, each one of us is using a different consumption rate of electric. And think about one thing that I thought about in summer. That's where the price is the highest.
Yeah.
But in winter, it's usually cheaper.
Yeah, because nobody's out. Well, not as many people are out.
But I know our electricity usage in winter is actually higher than in summer.
Yeah, but heating on, haven't we?
We've got solar panels, and really all we use in here in summer is to charge devices.
Yeah.
Don't we? We don't use the microwave, or maybe, as we said, might use the aircon.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but we haven't used it a lot, and we've had a good summer, haven't we? So
yeah, or we might boil the water
on the electric. Yeah, so I suppose that's a high cost, but we're not ironing, are we? No, definitely not.
We can help it, but no, we're not. We're quite minimal, really, aren't we?
Yeah, but I think having spoken to these people, I think I'll be a little bit more aware of it. And then it makes me think about when you go and stay in hotel rooms, and it's saying, "Oh, does this towel really need washing?" Because that's obviously a big cost.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and they've got to make some money. Yeah, so that electricity is the biggest cost. So let's have a look at what else we've got. We've got this nice little list here that Claire's done. we're going to come back to insurance, which in a little bit, because that is a really
That's the interesting bit, yeah.
That's really interesting. But we spoke about where you see these campsites advertised through different channels. So like the
Like pitch up, you mean?
pitch up, yeah, and how that works. That was quite interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us?
Can't remember. Can you?
Yeah, I can.
Good.
So how pitch up works is that the campsite owner has to pay to be on pitch up.
Yeah. Okay.
And when you do a booking, then there's a booking fee, isn't there?
Which you pay directly to pitch up first, don't you?
So do we pay that?
Yes.
So we pay the booking fee,
That goes to pitch up. They take that straight away.
but they also take a fee from the campsite owner as well.
Right.
So pitch up seems to take quite a large
Double fee.
chunk out of that. So the advantage to the campsite owner is that you get more publicity.
Yep.
So, and if you are, obviously, if you're in business and you do any type of advertising, it costs you money.
Yeah.
Unless we visit you and have a good experience.
free.
And you get it for free, and we fill your tables and your campsites. And we're really pleased
what
to
we
do
want,
that, aren't we? But yeah, the other way of doing it is to pay. So that's why you'd be on pitch up. And I did ask, is that why it's kind of like the Ryanair of campsites? Because you search for an area and you can filter things on there.
Yeah.
You can go by the cheapest.
Yeah, I do that.
And we've done that, haven't we? Where we've booked and it has been the cheapest until we get all the hidden fees. And then actually it's more expensive than one that's all included.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of games going off, and it's just how it is. But I was quite surprised that Pitch Up have 2 bites at the cherry.
I guess it's good to say that if you see a campsite on a pitch up, which I have done, you can Google the campsite and sometimes you can pay directly to them, which is better than going via pitch up. Sorry, pitch up, but it probably is, isn't it? Because they're getting more of the money for themselves.
Yeah. So I suppose the one thing of doing that is that if everybody did that and didn't use pitch up wouldn't exist and we'd be back at square one.
Yeah.
So maybe the best way to do it is to balance it out a little bit. So is that your strategy? Is that what you do?
No, I go avoid pitch up if I can.
Do you?
But if I can't book directly, sometimes it switches you back to pitch up and you have to book through them.
So you just use pitch up. Are you one of these people that go to shops and then buy online anyway?
Not necessarily, but I like to think I'm helping out the campsite by doing that. However, there are some sites that you cannot book directly with and I've had to go through pitch up.
Right. So that's pitch up. Oh, it's worth saying with the Caravan and Motorhome Club,
Yeah.
the sites keep all of the revenue.
Yes, 100%.
100%. So, and the reason for that is that the Caravan and Motorhome Club want to offer the big network.
They want you to pay the is it £70 for the annual fee?
Yeah.
That's how they're getting their money, is that you're continually paying that.
Yeah. Now, you'll know if you watch this channel that we've had our past with the Caravan and Motorhome Club and we left.
We did.
And then we've come back to it for the CLs. And, well, this is probably another video, but I think I can see the value in Caravan and Motorhome Club.
We never understood it before, did we? But
No.
now we're coming to some CLs. We've found some wonderful places.
So,
It's been worth the £70 fee, hasn't it?
I think so.
I do, yeah, I do.
It's just the actual club sites. They were winding me up.
Yeah,
a bit.
yeah.
But so I've got a fresh look on it. I'm feeling very positive about Caravan and
like it.
Motorhome Club at the minute. So that might change because we change his mind sometimes.
We do.
But there you go. One question that you asked is: do you think anybody could run a campsite, or do you need a?
Yeah, what kind of person? Because I think, we could run a campsite. It'd be brilliant. We'd have a great time. But does it take a certain type of person
Yeah,
to be able to do that? Yeah.
And what we found out was this person's campsite, it was seasonal and it only ran from March until
October-ish.
October. And they would work solid all the way through the season. But then in winter, that were their downtime. And that's where they went on holiday and did everything else.
Yeah, or did all the maintenance in the campsite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that brings its own issues, isn't it? So what they were saying is that in winter, it's sometimes not the right weather to do the jobs that they need to do, even if they wanted to. So like fence painting and all the maintenance stuff that's above and beyond maintaining it through the season. So sometimes if they've got an early Easter,
Yep.
they're really up against it because they might only have a week of decent weather to do
Yeah.
everything.
Easter can be March, can't it?
Yeah, to get everything ready for guests, which is something that I never even thought
Didn't
about.
consider that.
No, that we didn't consider. So,
And another thing, really, as well, it's a 24-hour job, isn't it? When the site's open, because somebody needs to be available for emergencies, call-outs, that kind of thing. And they were telling us that actually they had call-outs and things. It happens, doesn't it?
yeah. And I mean, we've turned up at 8 o'clock on some
We have,
campsites,
yeah,
and
we
we've
have.
never not had somebody to talk to or had what we needed there.
Yep.
So all this stuff needs thinking about. So, I think,
You
although
can't do it half-heartedly, basically. Can you?
no, I know that you do get reports of disgruntled wardens or campsite owners, and we've done our journey, but from their point of view, they might not have had a day off in 5 months.
Yep.
We're only human, aren't we?
Yeah. Just something to think about, isn't it?
Yeah. Would you really want to run a campsite?
I think we'd be really good at a campsite.
I won't mind guest appearing. Just do like a couple of weeks.
No, I think we'd be really, really good at it. As long as you're in the background and you're not at the front of house, it'd be brilliant.
It's like you're saying I've got no people skills.
That's why you don't do the comments, Andrew. Remember the time you upset everybody?
Let's have a look at what else we've got. I suppose this goes along with it. What was the best thing about owning a campsite?
Yep.
And what's the hardest part?
Yeah. Well, the hardest part they were saying is just the constants of it. You've got to be, somebody's got to be available all the time. So they can't necessarily, have a load of madries on a night time because somebody's got to be available. Or if there's family parties or functions, the site has to close down. So you need to think about that kind of thing. Sometimes you put in, you're thinking about the campsite first.
Yeah.
What was the other question?
And what was the best thing about owning it?
Your own boss.
Yeah, you see, I don't think, for me personally, running a business where you go, it's great having your own business because you're your own boss. You're not. You trade one boss, your boss becomes your customer. So you get a lot of bosses. So you still got a boss. It's like when people say, if I won lottery, I'd open a business. Crazy.
Well,
running a business is not for the faint-hearted.
Yep.
If you won £1 million at lottery, invest it and let it pay you back that way. Don't
maybe
run a
we
business.
get a campsite, Andrew.
What, with £1 million? Nobody would come, especially if you're front of house. What's the weirdest thing someone's brought to a campsite and had any unusual requests? Well, they did tell us some things, but then they told us that they'd prefer it if it weren't part of the video because it looked really interesting.
Quite rude sometimes, isn't it?
Sometimes, very interesting things.
Disturbing people in the showers and things.
Which we're not going to go into. But all sorts of animals have turned up, they've said. So parrots, we've seen parrots. And there was something else that they said.
Turtles.
Turtle, yes. Somebody had some turtles. Terrapins.
Terrapins. I'm not quite sure what the difference is of all those.
Well, I could tell you, but I don't want to get into it right now. But,
Did somebody say, and I think I might have dreamt this, but like some sort of tarantula or something? Spiders and things in cages.
All sorts.
Cats.
So all sorts of things that way. And then one thing, actually, and this is going to get onto some other stuff, because we were talking about rules, and campsites have rules, and it does annoy guests, I think, doesn't it?
There's a lot of rules, yeah.
So these campsite owners said that, and they camp, don't they?
Yeah,
they're proper campers. And they said that when they first started, they didn't want any rules because they didn't like to see them. But what they said were, you do have to have some rules so that you've got something to refer to in case it goes wrong.
There's a problem, that's right, yeah.
So they were basically telling us there's a different tolerance to rules on different campsites by different owners. And although they wanted to keep it so that they didn't have any rules, they've had to put rules in place just in case somebody oversteps the mark and they can go, no, actually...
Hang on, this is the rule.
That's not on. But they say that they try to be tolerant and not to enforce it. So the things that they had rules about were the number of dogs and the number of guests. So the number of guests, which is interesting, I think, and they do have a clause for number of guests, and that's because... They said that sometimes people would visit from the local area. They might only live 10 minutes away. and they buy a caravan or a motorhome and they pitch it up and they pay for one night, but then they invite their entire family over for the day.
And have a party.
And have a party, have a barbecue.
There's 10 adults there.
So imagine the increase in electricity costs,
Toilets, water.
the amount of
The
waste.
noise, the light pollution.
Yeah, and everything else. So that's why they do it, because it's kind of like, if you don't have that rule in place, then it can be a free-for-all.
Would you ever think about us going, but then having an actual party where you invite your friends over? Come to the campsite next week, 2:00.
Well, I've tried to think about...
Consider that.
Well, so if you buy a motorhome or a caravan, it's a big purchase and it's exciting. And I'd imagine not thinking about it. I mean, I won't want to upset anybody, but not thinking about, oh, we're going to so-and-so, come and have a look at it. And if you're popular, I mean, we're lucky because Claire's not that popular, but if we were popular, then everybody would come down.
Yeah, and that is a problem. So
and
that's why.
But you just think, I'm just showing them my caravan, and it's like,
Yeah.
but when they get here, do you want a cup of tea? Oh, do you want oat to eat?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's snowballing.
No, bringing the chairs, tables, and it's quite busy outside then, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, and that relates directly to the dogs.
Yeah.
So this campsite owner didn't charge for dogs, but they did have a 2-dog maximum.
Yeah.
And that's so that you don't turn up with loads of dogs, because what they said was, if you don't have a limit on the dogs, but everybody else has, then anybody who's got 5 dogs will come to your campsite. Then all of a sudden, if you've got like 10 spots, you might have 50 dogs on site.
Yeah.
And it gets out of hand.
But they did say sometimes, if somebody's got 3 dogs and they're behaving, they're not barking, they're not causing a problem, turn a blind eye.
But that's at your risk. They
But
can.
that's at their discretion.
They can turn around and go,
Actually, it's 2.
and it's worth saying that this is just that
Just a guide.
campsite
Yeah.
owner. So others might be very strict on it. So it made me start to think a little bit more, because I just think, another rule. Oh, another this, another that.
But that's why, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we all see the signs everywhere about, don't put this down, this toilet, don't put this down, that toilet. And that is a real thing. We've actually spoke to a few people about that, where they've spent most of the weekend fishing toilet rolls out of the drains. And it blocks the
cardboard
entire
roll.
thing. In fact,
Who's putting that down the toilet?
I know. What they've got, what they were saying to us, is that they've got a fully brand new box toilet ready to go at any time.
Yeah.
So that if they need to, they can swap the toilet over.
Swap the unit out, yeah.
So because it
In the
happens,
past, they've been caught out with that.
yeah, and they can't get a toilet, but you've got guests on site and there's no toilet.
I think just thinking back as well, you probably need to be quite handy with your DIY skills if you've got a campsite. For that reason, could you just quickly change a toilet over?
Oh yeah, I won't want to, but I reckon
But
I
you
could. If I've got Google, I'd have to have Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Wi-Fi. Let's talk about Wi-Fi.
Yep.
So the Wi-Fi side of stuff is something that they provide, but it's a special type of Wi-Fi, isn't it? It's not.
Well, we've noticed that there's some sites that charge, and some sites where it's free.
Yeah. But from the campsite's point of view, if somebody comes onto your pitch and you're accessing their Wi-Fi, if you're up to no good on the internet, then it could come back
Flag
to you and
against your
go,
account.
that's what you've been doing on here.
Yeah.
So they pay for something, don't they, where it actually separates their Wi-Fi use from theirs and the
customers.
guests, and they can actually monitor and see
It flags up if somebody's looking at something they shouldn't be.
that shouldn't be. Yeah.
So it's separate from them, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a risk, I suppose.
But
So I wonder if that works where, if it's free Wi-Fi, then have they got a different system in place there, I wonder?
There's some
Or are they
kind of
just risking
filter,
it
isn't there?
off the back?
I don't know, but so there
interesting.
is a cost to running that, and then the routers and everything else. So, when you start to break that down into...
Yeah, it's an expense that might not have been anything 10 years ago.
And I think what they said were, I can't remember because we were talking about, we spent a full evening, didn't we,
Yeah.
talking to them. But I think they said that they made a charge for the Wi-Fi, but it wasn't a daily charge. It was just like an access charge. If you stayed for 2 weeks, you just paid for it once.
Yes.
So it were like on a per person. I don't think that's a bad thing. If you're only staying one night, obviously them costs can add up if you're going from different ones. But I think from the campsite owner's point of view, that would pretty...
It protects them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is basically what they were saying.
So the one thing that winds you up the closing down the toilets.
I get very upset in the camping and motorhome when I feel they close the toilets down at the time when I, typically want to be getting ready. Is that selfish from me? Maybe, but I've paid and I want to go for a shower. I really want to go for a shower.
But the logic is that the times are chosen so that the toilets get refreshed before the new guests come in, because that's obviously your first impressions. And one thing that seems to be a bit of a challenge if you run a campsite is that there's never really a good time to do anything. That includes, doing cleaning toilets, cutting the grass. When people say, well, I'm on my holiday, I want my grass cutting. But if they don't cut it, then
Be messy, won't it?
it's be messy, and you won't be happy with that either. So they try and be aware of it, they were saying, and they wait for most people to be out, if not all of them, and then try and do it there. But then, they've got no control over that.
That's right.
So that's...
But we have been to a campsite, a camping and motor one, that closed it at 9:30 in the morning. Now
the toilets?
Yeah, we're up and about quite early, but I think 9:30 is too early to be closing your shower block down because your new guys aren't coming until 1. Come on. Anyway, I did get quite cross about that for some reason.
Yeah.
Don't I?
Yeah.
Who else does?
So we're going to get to the juicy bits now. Okay, so you asked, why do some campsites charge for awnings, or for extra dogs, or for showers, additional cards?
Well, this has been a debate in the past where subscribers, followers have said to us, it's because of insurance. That is why
it's been done.
But those comments have typically been by people that don't have a campsite.
Yes. So we wanted to know what the ins and outs of it were. So we were told that insurance policies were segregated down, and we found out that it actually is. So we got to see this campsite owner's insurance policy, and it was with NF Mutual, theirs. Okay. So, and they got all sorts of things, and they had to itemise loads of different things. So this campsite, it had campsite spots, pictures, and it also had some other accommodation, and each area had to be itemised in the insurance, which built the premium
package
altogether. So as you can imagine, there's the electric service points, and they have to be a certain standard. There's a new electric service point, isn't there, that's coming in now. You've probably seen them, the ones where they're off and on. You've actually physically got to turn it on with the switch.
Is that a new legality that's coming in?
Yeah, and I think they've all got to be done by 2030.
Okay.
So there's a bit of a run up on that.
There's a cost there for them all, then, isn't there?
Yeah, so you'll see the newer ones going in. So the actual units cost, I think, did they say it were £130 or maybe a bit more?
Per unit.
Per unit. But then you got to pay for the electrician
to come and sign it off.
To come and do it.
Yeah.
So where this campsite was, it was in an area where there's a lot of campsites with a little community of electricians. So they were in high demand.
To do this.
And that meant that they just had to pay a little bit extra if they wanted it doing. So that were an added cost. So you'll see on the newer campsites, or where the pitch they've put in, you'll see this little switch. It makes sense actually, because we're taught to plug into our motorhome first and then into the unit, so we're not walking around with a live lead. But this is just to keep things safe. I don't know how many people have actually been like jolted off it, but I haven't. You certainly haven't. So so that was interesting. Awnings. So we were told that if you've got an awning, then the campsite has to insure for the awnings. Not true. It's not a thing that. Although things are itemised, awnings are not.
So what you're saying is you don't have to tell your insurer about that?
That you're accepting awnings.
Right.
It's just part of running a campsite.
So why would you pay an extra £5?
Well, this is it. We asked the campsite owners why this is. Now, they don't charge for awnings. They charge for your pitch. And with the rules that we said about, 2 dogs max, a bit of leeway, other side maybe, but your pitch is your pitch. So if you decide to put a game of swing ball out, you don't have to give them £2. All that is just a way to maximise profit, but it doesn't actually cost them any more. However, With the awnings, if you stay there for a week or 2 weeks, then it can damage the grass.
But if it's hard standing, it wouldn't.
Not on hard standing. But if the grass is damaged, then they did say that sometimes they have the repair cost of the grass.
Yeah.
But if you know this, then a lot of campsites, they give you a hard standing to put your awning up.
But would charge you £5 or whatever, pound, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so realistically, unless you're putting your awning onto grass, there's no actual extra cost to the campsite.
So that is money-making exercise.
That is a little bit of a con.
We have had people tell us that they've been charged to put out their little pulley-out awning.
That's it. Their own pulley-out awning.
From the unit that they paid for, and that's pretty bad, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Extra cars, they said as long as it's on your pitch, then it's not a thing. That's it. One thing that was interesting about insurance is, you know, the ride-on lawnmowers?
Yeah.
They have a separate insurance policy.
You got to have insurance for that, don't you?
They have to have motor vehicle insurance, but it's not like your car insurance or your motorhome insurance, because you can't drive them on a road.
No.
But they have to be separately insured. And that were like £100 and something.
Yeah, it's quite a lot,
And you can't even go anywhere on it. And the idea of that is that when they're going round on these things, obviously if there's a tent peg or a stone, that can flick up and smash a window or damage somebody's motorhome.
Yeah, it could.
And that's why they're insured. So if that happens, then you can claim against it. But I thought that was strange.
Yeah, we didn't ever consider that as a
Motor
cost.
vehicle insurance on an unregistered vehicle.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
But then it comes to the big one. So we were told that insurance premiums increase if the campsite accepts dogs. I don't think you find any campsite that doesn't accept dogs. I haven't seen any, have you?
There was one in Cornwall that I looked at that was a very good location, but no dogs.
No dogs, okay. But it's not because they can't get insurance for it, because it's included in the insurance.
Well, in the example that we had, NFU, don't ask about dogs. It's not it's not something to put into the insurance at all, is it?
It's not anything extra. So having more than 2 dogs is not an insurance thing. But neither is charging for dogs to pay towards the extra insurance premium. It does not exist on that. Now, if you own a campsite and your insurance is separate, then let us know. And we'd suggest go to NF Mutual, because apparently they don't charge for it.
So what you're saying here then is the charge for the dogs. Okay, there might be dog bins, dog walks. However,
well, if you've got dog bins and dog walks, we've always said we don't mind paying, because they're giving facilities for us to use. But there are plenty of campsites that we go on where there's no dog walk, there's no dog bin, and you are required to exercise your dog off the campsite.
Yeah, that's right.
But they charge you £3 for your dog.
Not more, £5 sometimes.
£5 a night for your dog.
Yeah.
But it's not costing them anything. It's a hidden charge.
Not. Yeah, so that is definitely money making. Whoa, people are going to be cross with me saying that, but it is.
It is. It's just a charge for nothing. They're not actually providing anything for that. Because I think if you own a dog and you own a motorhome, and your dog's in your motorhome and you can't exercise on the campsite, you've got to take him off that, then, well, how far are we going to go? It's like, what have you brought? You brought yourself a tuna sandwich? Well, it's £1 for a tuna sandwich. Let me have a look. I mean, it's just it's a con. There's no valid reason to charge extra other than increasing your nightly rate and the profit. Because think about this. You could be on solar panels, okay, and next to an Adria or something that's high-tech, doing all that, and they're plugged in. They've got no dogs, and they pay the base rate, and you've got 2 dogs, and you pay, like £5 for each dog.
You want to put your awning out.
You want to put your awning out. You could be spending way more than the other person that's using actual electric, and the profit margin on their stay would be lower.
And that will be the case for a number of occasions, I would have thought.
So just to be clear, if the campsite provides facilities for dogs, I appreciate that we have to pay towards it, but if they don't, if there's no facilities whatsoever and they're charging for dogs, then there is absolutely no reason other than you are being taxed for having a dog, and that money goes directly to the campsite owner. It's not paying towards any insurance or any other thing.
So you're being conned.
It's a con, isn't it? It's a scam. It's an inflation of the price for no reason, just
So
to
the
say.
people that told us it was because of insurance reasons, from what we've been told, it might, it isn't that at all, is it? It's not.
What do you think to that? What will you do? Do you think different now about it?
Well, yeah, I will. The thing for me is that we typically pay it if it's in the location we want it to be. So maybe they've got you a little bit there. Well, I need to be there. And they know that maybe they've got the monopoly in the area and you're close to the beach, close to the pub, whatever. You give in, don't you?
Yeah. But there's then the other thing as well that we need to think about. That they're the costs that are associated with the stay, but then a lot of these campsites, they get bought and they have mortgages on them, and they've got to service the mortgage, and we all know that mortgage costs have gone up and everything else. So I'm not saying that it's an easy ride, and that is why some things are costing more. The electric, the mortgages,
Everything's going up, isn't it?
Everything's going up, and that's why, unfortunately, we're getting close to hotel prices to come camping.
Yep.
Very interesting. I hope you've enjoyed this. As we say, we've sat down with genuine campsite owners. It was great to see from their side.
The other side, yeah.
The other side of it. And you can see, what the costs are in running a campsite. And that's before you even put any of your time in. And obviously, it's their livelihood. They have to make a profit.
Yeah, you pay for websites, you pay for booking systems. There's things like that to think about as well, isn't there?
Accountants, they've got a tax bill to pay. There's all those
They've got
costs.
Things like the toilet rolls,
Yeah.
It sounds silly, doesn't
Cleaning
it? But all the
products.
cleaning products.
They've got a lot of costs.
The laminated signs that you see on the walls, little things like that.
Signage were a big thing, yeah. And we fully appreciate that. The only thing is that what we don't like is being taken advantage of. If we've got dogs and there's no cost to putting it up, or we want to put our awning up and there's no damage to the property and there's no difference and they want to charge us for it, I don't think that that's fair. I think what they should do is to either put the price up so that you can see what you're actually going to pay, or just not bother. What do you think?
I agree with you, Andrew.
Good. So I hope you found this interesting as much as we did, and give you something to think about when you're looking around and booking. Let us know what you think about it, and if you think that the profiteering from it, or whether you think that we're paying the going rate for campsites. So yeah, we shall see you next time. We've got some more adventures coming up.
Oh yeah.
Have a great week, guys.
Bye.